As we're nearing the end of the year, I thought I would take a look at some of the wildest articles from 2023 about the British royals by the British media. While these are in no particular order, there is a number one. I understand that's contradictory, but you'll understand. First up, the royal appointment that made me subscribe to the royal appointment and start doing weekly videos on it. You're welcome, I guess. This is from January, when Camilla Tominey wrote that, moreover, far from seeming cold and unfeeling, William's desperate collar-grabbing bid to get through to Harry during that dog bowl disagreement showed just how much love he has for his little brother. It made him look edgy, which is not an adjective many people use about the Waleses. Yes, violence is now edgy. Moreover, what's interesting is that Omid Scobie's Endgame talks about this article. Tominey has since gone on to refute the claims. What's incredible is her retelling of this in a royal appointment from a couple of weeks ago, in which she just leaves out the fact that she described the whole incident as edgy to begin with, and that describing it as edgy was probably a large part of why this sounded like an excuse of domestic abusers everywhere. It's an entire piece dedicated to accusing someone else of misleading and distorting details while misleading and leaving out details. That's meta. Okay, so I guess this was a 2-for-1. Next up, and I love that this is an exclusive, Prince Grilliam. That's good. The reason this article makes my list, they took an old photo of Prince Philip at Balmoral and photoshopped William's head on his grandfather's body. So macabre. It's so bizarre. And like, William is not even right-handed. It must have been a slow news day. There was this one, Neighbors Not Interested. Montecito Bookstore reveals it has only sold 30 copies of Prince Harry's autobiography Spare, despite the controversial book's record-breaking sales. The quotes from the shop owner are so good. Quote, describing Spare by saying, it's a book. I just want to know the question that led her to be like, it's a book. Like, what do you want from me? The article fails to mention that this is a very small bookstore. It's a small local bookstore. Creating versus reporting on a story. It wouldn't be 2023 if we didn't talk about some bad polling. This was from August. Prince William voted most likely person to unite the US as he tops poll of world leaders. This poll is so egregious. For starters, the question asked by the poll was if you have a favorable or unfavorable opinion of that person, or if you've never heard of them. The list includes well-known people like Donald Trump and Joe Biden. It also includes Vladimir Putin, former Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy, U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts. Merrick Garland is on this list. Is it any surprise that Prince William has the highest favorability ratings among primarily like world villains or politicians that you're definitely influenced whether you are for or against the party that they are a part of? This one still gets me. And finally, number one. I told you there was a clear winner. After the bombshell reporting from The Guardian about the cost of the crown, the Daily Mail decided to do their own digging. I said, wait a second. Sure, there are all these claims of the royals being financially invested in the transatlantic slave trade, but Catherine's ancestor basically freed Meghan Markle's relative. If ever we needed proof that there needs to be more diversity among senior members in newsrooms, I cannot overstate how bananas this article is and how tenuous this key role was. And this is not to disparage Harriet. She's often seen as the first female sociologist, but that doesn't work if you're trying to write an article tying in the Sussexes to basism. People are going to be angry with me for saying this, but Harriet Tubman was one of the funniest days on Twitter from this entire year. As a reminder, this is a focus on the articles, not the royals themselves. I am snarking on the articles, how they're positioned, how they're written. I cannot tell you how often people miss that. You can like Prince William and also recognize that putting his head on his late grandfather's body for an article about grilling is inherently funny and dark.